show both of them really well. The muscle cells show up really well, and the motor end organs show up really well. But what's fascinating about it is that here we have, it's only on medium power, and yet it only shows very small pieces of very large cells. So for example, each one of these red-brown stripes is a small piece of what kind of cell? Sarcomere is the functional unit of it. There are several sarcomeres there.
Muscle.
Yes, striated muscle. Remember, striated muscle cells are cells that are so large they stretch from one end of your muscle to the other. So the sartorius muscle, which goes from your hip to below your knee, may be a couple feet long. Every fiber in it is a single cell that runs the full length of the muscle. So those are big cells. And this, of course, as you just saw in the other slide, motor neurons are also big cells. So these motor end organs, they should put organs in quote because an organ is something that's multicellular, whereas these so-called organs are tiny, tiny little pieces of a very large cell. So you see one little piece of a very large neuron and a bunch of little pieces of very large cells that are muscle cells.
So the dots are...
Well, these big dots, each one of these is a motor end organ. That's the connection between nerve and muscle. And if you look carefully, you'll notice that each fiber of the muscle has one and only one of the terminal branches connected to it with a motor end organ. It is interesting to see these under higher power. But then it's actually got so much three-dimensional structure, it's hard to get too much of it in focus. There you see. And that's because it looks blotchy because the black stain is actually staining the chemical that passes the impulse. It's called a neurotransmitter. And that's stored in these vesicles, these synaptic vesicles. It's basically the synapse between nerve and muscle is a motor end organ. It's called a neuron.